Welcome to another episode of Synoptus Lightning Round, where we ask 6 rapid-fire questions with some of the sharpest business minds talking about accelerating business value through technology, IT business alignment, and IT leadership development. Now, here's Cameron and David.
I'm David Rettig, CEO of Synoptus, and I'm here today with Cameron Ames. How you doing this morning, Cameron?
Hey, good morning, Dave. I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. Dave, I'm particularly excited about talking to our guest today. Katty is a good friend of yours, and she's got some excellent insights. Dave, just to start things off, you've been in a lot of implementations from an IT perspective. One of the things that businesses always want is more speed throughout everything that they do. How do you find a good balance between giving business delivery at the speed that they want and making sure that things are done right?
That's an amazing question because it's something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about. And working with both technical people and engineers and business people, I've turned it into a pithy little idea of could versus should. And I find that technical people, engineers and computer people and programmers and anybody in a technical field tends to think about should. This is the way something should be done. And they come up with brilliant technical solutions or engineering solutions, or they design products the way they should work. And they're right. I'm not dismissing that at all. But business people tend to think about could. What could we do right now? And should often requires longer to implement, even though it's the preferred thing to do. It takes longer to implement than could. And achieving that balance between achieving the best technical solution and functioning within the constraints that a business offers is the tension between could and should. And if you can help an IT department understand that tension and help them navigate through that tension and help the business navigate through the tension of should, that's an important part of IT business alignment and being able to operate at the speed of business and meet the expectations of the business. So that, and I love that question. What inspired the question, Cameron?
So actually what inspired it is the video that we're about to see, the interview that you did with Katty. I think that one of the things that she really hits on well is how do you accelerate delivery of value to business? And obviously we'll get into it more after the interview, but that was really interesting to me, and I think it was one of the biggest takeaways.
Well, let's jump into it. Here's Katty Coulson with Oracle and NetSuite. How are you doing today, Katty?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you? Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, great. Katty is a vice president of IT for Oracle's NetSuite product, and we are ready to go with 6 questions. You all ready?
I am ready.
Great. Okay, so give us about a minute on yourself and your company.
Absolutely. Okay, well, you mentioned my name. My name is Katty Coulson, and yes, as you said, I am vice president of IT for Oracle NetSuite. I'm an IT professional. I've been in this business for almost 20 years. I started in Mexico with General Electric when digitization meant, at the time, going paperless with your business transactions. Then life brought me to the Bay Area. I had a few jobs. One of them was a startup, so I had experience to go through that, and I was doing e-business. After that, I moved to Cisco Systems, where I spent 13 and a half years, customer-facing roles, but always on the technology side. But the last 10 years and a half of Cisco, I spent with Cisco IT. And it was a little bit over 6 months ago that I moved to Oracle with NetSuite in IT. And I'm sure you all know, NetSuite is a cloud-based ERP system that helps our businesses grow. Anything from financial, supply chain management, billing, you name it. We offer clear visibility, reporting, and more. So it's been great 6 months and a lot of learnings as well.
They're absolutely lucky to have you. So in a minute, tell me about how IT business alignment accelerates business value for you.
Well, business and IT are so intertwined. They can be pretty much twin brothers, right? So they're one and the same. There's no business, no industry, no area of the business that really lives without technology. And technology and we technologists live to serve the business. So the closer aligned we are, the better we will be. Now we need to understand our business so we can deliver value. And not only deliver value, but deliver value fast.
Yeah, and moving at the speed of business is really important. I'm glad you brought that up. So what do you see as the biggest challenge with IT business alignment?
You know, that's a trick question because you asked like there's one thing and there is not one thing. But if I follow your question well and I have to choose one, I think it's the mindset. It's the mindset shift because for the longest time, and you probably agree, you know, IT is that organization that is over there doing their own thing, providing some services, but more and more businesses are technology and technology is part of the business. So the way we do this is how do we IT develop this business acumen, understand the business we're in. Am I in the business of, you know, making furniture? I am in the business of, you know, cloud-based ERP. Am I in the business of, you name it? I need to know what are the rules of the game of the company I'm in so I can understand how I can better service them. And then going beyond that, who are my stakeholders? Because maybe I have a subset of stakeholders and they run a piece of the business. What is that piece of the business? What are their challenges? What are their metrics? What are their goals? What are their initiatives? So then I can align mine to them. So our objectives are one and the same. If I help my business stakeholders achieve their business objectives, I'm doing my job well.
That's a perfect answer. So tell our listeners about a real world example of the positive outcomes you've seen from IT business alignment.
Well, you know, currently, without naming specifically the initiatives, I can tell you the value. We have this one where I feel and know that the business and my team are really working in unison, meaning working as one team. We, IT, understand the urgency, the sense of urgency, and how fast they need certain capabilities delivered. We also understand critical points in the fiscal year, points of pressure where we need to understand how to work around that and still schedule everything to happen in order to deliver on time, on budget, and in high quality, but without disrupting normal and essential course of business. That's one side. The second one has to do a lot with forecasting, budgeting, planning. And business stakeholders, they do that. And it is very, very likely that as they plan and forecast operations, there is a follow-up for consumption of IT services. When you plan and draw your strategy, you're assuming that certain technology capabilities are embedded. If I have a seat at the table and I'm part of that conversation, not only I can strategize with you, but we can have a much better use of your budget. We can have that price tag brought at the front much early on. And most importantly, as the fiscal year goes by, there are external factors, maybe internal factors that requires the business to adjust. If IT is part of the conversation, we can adjust with them, and then going back to speed to value, we're not an afterthought. we don't carry losses, and we are right there with them. So we save the time for the business to achieve their goals.
Yeah, and I again, I think those are spot on. I love the idea of being able to move as rapidly as the business needs you to, and having that seat at the table. I think's where a lot of IT folks, that's their main struggle right now. Speaking of
True.
struggles, if someone was considering a new IT business alignment initiative, and they were saying, "Hey, we want to, we're not there yet, but we're going to get there." If you were going to offer them one piece of advice to start out with, give them a piece of advice that get them off on a solid footing.
Yeah, I would say don't wait. Don't wait for the other side to take the first step. Take the first step, even if you're IT and you're saying, well, I don't know. It is completely fine to start asking questions. It is completely fine to start wanting to understand and have an open conversation with your business to say, okay, you know, what is your strategy? What is your plan? What are your headwinds? What are you winning? Because I get this conversation and this question very often when they say, well, they need to ask us, you know, they need to learn our IT language. They need to understand where we are. And the truth is that we very likely are the ones that have to take that first step. But assuming that we have already that interlock and we're talking with our business and we have a good relationship, to get that seat at the table, we need to ensure good and frequent communication. The second one is we need to have a good business IT architecture and roadmap. Some of the methodologies that work well are agile, design thinking, but communication is the basis of that, because you're going to iterate. And if you wait for me to deliver everything, you don't talk to me, chances are I may not give you exactly what you need. But if we're having this exchange and this conversation, I can pivot and I can give you the adjustments that you need. Again, so we preserve and defend the speed to value, and also protect the investment.
Yeah, I like the idea of interlocking those two, and iterative development's so important, particularly nowadays. And so I think that again, a really valuable feedback or advice for our listeners. So last question, super easy. You get a minute, just plug anything you want. It can be NetSuite, your business. It can be a charity. It can be a favorite book you're reading. Shout out to your kids, or
People.
anything else you can imagine.
I'm going to go with people. And I have to say, I want to thank and call out everybody, NetSuite IT, for the wonderful job they're doing. You know, globally, we're going through this situation where we just need to step up and up our game. And we're doing it. We're doing it from our homes. We're doing it from wherever we are. So great job to everybody. And also call out to my previous team members, previous colleagues and friends, because I had the honor and the privilege to work with them and to learn from every single one of them. And I do hope for you, your family, and all your listeners, health, safety, and for all of us in our communities to overcome this situation. And if I can give some free piece of advice, just take care of your health, whether it is your physical health, your mental health, or your spiritual health. And with that, thank you so much.
Great video by Katty Coulson of Oracle and NetSuite. Always love talking to her. Katty and I've had the pleasure of knowing Katty for a number of years, and she's an impressive woman. I really enjoyed her perspective on IT and business being not opposing forces within a business, but brothers within a family, and how they really need, every business has become a technological business, and how business or technology accelerates the value of business. Cameron, what did you get out of this video?
Yeah, so I alluded to it a little bit earlier in this video, but I think that one of the biggest takeaways that I find from Katty's interview is that the key to accelerating delivery of business value to a business is making sure that you understand that business. And going beyond that surface level, okay, here's what they do. Make sure that you understand them from a deeper level of, okay, here's the problem that their customers have. Here's why they are able to solve that problem. And here's how they expect to move in the future. Having that depth of understanding and making sure that IT is in alignment with business from a purpose perspective, that goes incredibly far in making sure that IT is able to work properly with the business and make sure that they can deliver value quickly. Business doesn't have to necessarily explain things as much to an IT department that fully understands what's going on. The IT department can start to help see and contribute, hey, this is where I think we could really help, and make sure that the business is functioning as expected, or maybe functioning better than you thought, because we have this depth of understanding of the business itself. That really has been huge.
Great video, everyone. I hope you enjoyed Katty Coulson as much as Cameron and I did, and we'll see you on the next episode of Synoptus.
Thank you for watching Synoptus Lightning Round. For more episodes of Synoptus Lightning Round, visit synoptus.com, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts.